WWE TLC is this Sunday here in Cleveland at the Q, and you can buy tickets at theqarena.com, and also you can go online at WWEnetwork.com if you're not in the Cleveland area. You want to check out the pay-per-view. Right now I want to bring on Mr. Money in the Bank, a former WWE Tag Team Champion. He's here in Cleveland doing the media rounds, Seth Rollins. Seth, how's Cleveland treating you today?
Oh, Cleveland, as always, is treating me wonderfully. How are you?
I'm doing fine. All right. I want to talk about TLC, but before we get into that, did you have I know you were traveling and you're a busy guy. Did you have a chance to watch NXT last night?
Actually, I did. I was traveling to Cleveland, and I was able to. I had a good layover in the airport in Atlanta, and I was able to catch the first half of the show there, and then I ended up watching the Neville and Zayn match later on in my hotel room when I got home, the beauty of the WWE Network. It was pretty incredible, eh?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of great matches from the debut of Kevin Owens to, like you said, the main event. Just it seemed like NXT, there's a lot of innovation when it comes to moves and to wrestling moves per se, and they have a little more leeway. It just seems like, in your eyes, is NXT a little bit different than maybe Raw or SmackDown when it comes to terms of, you know, maneuvers and whatnot, because you guys are performing every single night, and these guys are having a big event maybe once a week?
Oh yeah, it's 100% different. You know, the show is completely different. It's run differently. It's programmed differently. The performers are different. It's still incredible though, and I think that it offers, in a way, if you're thinking about it this way, it offers an alternative to a Monday Night Raw. You know, NXT runs on the network in episodic form every single week, the same way Raw and SmackDown do. They have the one big show, you know, four like network specials a year, maybe less. But it's basically the old model of what our pay-per-view system used to be when we were doing the big four pay-per-views. So it really puts an emphasis on longer stories, longer story arcs and stuff like that. And there's a lot more time for the guys to wrestle, I think. You know, they have 5-6 matches in 2 hours, so it's pretty awesome, man. It's really enjoyable, and in a way, like I said, it kind of offers the fans an alternative to what they see on Monday and Friday nights from us.
When it comes to developing yourself, and when you're down at NXT and trying to, you know, get to the main roster, and also independence, I mean, you probably had a lot more control over your character and a lot more what you could do inside and outside of the ring. When you made the jump to the roster with the Shield, Did you lose that, or do you still have that kind of creative control even now with your character, you know, today?
I think there's a misconception that, you know, as characters, performers were basically just told what to do every step of the way. That's not how it works. And the best guys, the guys who made their name in the history of our industry, they don't exist like that. They can't. They can't be stifled that way creatively. And for me, it's the same way. You know, I can't be stifled like that creatively. I love having direction. I love having the partnership with the, you know, Vince McMahon and Triple H and the writers and stuff like that. I love the back and forth of coming up with ideas and trying to figure out how they work for everybody. To me, that's how we all get better. So actually having their input, I find, is more helpful than a hindrance. You know, they have the faith in me, or they wouldn't have put me in the spots that I'm in, the opportunities to succeed. They have the faith in me, so they also have the faith in me to contribute to my own character and my own on-screen presence. I think that's really, really important for people to understand. Is we're out there, you know, being us, and there are some, you know, cuffs that we wear from time to time, but overall, I think it's a collaborative process. It's very beneficial for all of us.
Personally, I know you with the Shield, you guys weren't exactly WB fan favorites, even though you guys were making a big statement, and now you're kind of on the side of the authority. You're flourished in the, you know, quote unquote bad guy role. Do you prefer being the heel, or do you like the crowd cheering for you? And if you had to choose for the rest of your career, would you want to be the bad guy?
I mean, the good guy sells more T-shirts. But I like both of them, man. I think it's a cool experience to be able to, you know, step in and out of different pairs of shoes and to you know, play both sides of the fence. Kind of, it's interesting to be able to do that. And the best guys have been able to, you know, do both sides successfully. You look at Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. They all did both sides. very effectively. And I want to be those guys. You know what I'm saying? I want to be mentioned in the same breath with them when it's all said and done. So I think I'll be able to get the opportunity to hopefully do both over the course of my career.
Now you're facing the top guy in WWE in John Cena this Sunday here in Cleveland. I know you've had some battles in the past. What is your expectations for this match going into Sunday?
Pretty huge, really. This is the guy. This is the man who has been the face of WWE for the last 10 years or so. And to be able to, main event a big pay-per-view with him is something that's extremely important and special, and the opportunity to shine on the stage is not lost on me. I'm going to bring everything that I've got to the table. I know John is looking forward to the challenge. He's been, maybe a fan for quite some time, so I think that we're both looking forward to, getting in the ring on a big stage and really putting something special out there.
Now, this is a tables match, and obviously there's a big stipulation that if Cena loses, he's no longer the number one contender for the for Brock Lesnar's championship. So there's a lot on the line for this match. Now, I know this is a ladders match, and I know it could be brutal, especially with this pay-per-view, TLC, and stairs. What is there a different mindset when you go into a gimmick match like this, where you have weapons you can use, and how different it is just a straight-up singles match where there are no weapons involved?
That added element of danger certainly weighs on your conscience when you're going into a situation like this. But at the same time, I look back to what we said just a second ago about how big this match really is, especially for me trying to kind of get my footing at the top of the card next to John, and hopefully eventually take his place. It's one of those things where you kind of got to throw caution to the wind, and I'm going to go out there and give it 110%. I find that if you are too fixated on what could happen or what could go wrong, that's usually when you end up in a bad way, or things end up going wrong for you. So I'm just going to go out there and do what I do, and keep my focus on having the absolute best possible performance I can, hopefully coming out on top.
All right, I got to ask you. I know the big WWE news, and it's been going on for almost a year, and CM Punk, and he's going to UFC. Just your initial thoughts on him making the jump and something in the octagon. Good for him. Kudos to Punk for finding something for himself to do after WWE. He's made a big splash over the last few weeks between his podcasts and signing with UFC. So I think I wish him the best of luck. I really hope that he has as much success there as he has here, and I think it'll be very interesting for him to try something new. He's only been a pro wrestler since he was 18 years old. So for him at his age to step out of his comfort zone and try something new is pretty admirable, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. Now, I know it's a touchy subject, but the way he left, do you have anything to say on the way he left, or do you think, hey, to each their own?
I think it could have been handled better, probably on both sides, and I think down the road, people involved will say the same thing. But as much as I don't necessarily agree with the way he left, I think that I understand mentally where he was. This business can take a toll on you. You travel a lot, you get beat up a lot. There's a lot of frustration that's involved, and mentally over time that can wear on you. It can put you in a place where you're a different person, and when you're not happy with who you are and you're not the person you want to be, you got to take a step back. You got to look at things kind of outside the bubble a little bit, and I think that's what he did, and I think he realized that he needed to take a step back and just kind of see what was going on, and if he didn't like it, then he can move on. And I think they agreed to disagree, and like I said, could have been handled differently from a public relations standpoint on both sides. But I think once the dust settles, everything will feel itself out, and it should be all right.
If CM Punk would want to come back to WWE down the road, because in this business you never say never, would you welcome him back, and would the locker room welcome him back?
I don't see why not. He was a self-admitted jerk, first of all, and if you listen to the podcast, he didn't say that he was in a great mood the last few months that he was there. He admitted how grumpy he was and how much of a jerk he was, even more than he already is. So I think that we would welcome him back. I know. I'm not one to hold too many grudges. I think everyone deserves a second chance, or an opportunity to redeem themselves, or what have you. So I think I would welcome him back, and I'm sure he would face some resentment as far as the locker room is concerned. But guys get over that stuff pretty quick, and I think if it was best for business, yeah, I'd be open to it for sure.
Now, you talk about on the road, and you do a lot of media, and you try to stay in shape. Now, I follow you on Instagram and Twitter, and you're a big CrossFit guy. How important is that into you, with your mindset and staying healthy and staying in the zone and not over, wearing yourself out on the road? How important is CrossFit and just working out important to you?
From an aesthetic standpoint, obviously, it's extremely important. For me, from a physical standpoint, CrossFit has really kind of transformed my body and the way that I look at fitness over the course of the last 4 years that I've been really doing CrossFit pretty much full time. I feel like at 28 I'm healthier than I've ever been, and I have the heaviest workload that I've ever had. So if that's not a testament to the kind of athlete that CrossFit produces, I don't know what is. And from a mental standpoint, spending time in the gym and really kind of finding your focus there, for me, is a bit of a release. It's a bit of an escape, kind of getting away from all the hustle and bustle of everything that we do. Once I finish up with all the media today, I'm making it a priority to get in the gym because I need that. I need to get in there and get the blood pumping and kind of just let my mind go a little bit. It can be an exhausting experience. So overall, I think physical fitness, and for me, CrossFit is extremely important in helping me, in all phases of my life.
Now, here in Cleveland, there's two main celebrities, sports celebrities, and LeBron James and Johnny Manziel. LeBron with the Cavaliers, and you have Manziel starting for the Browns, his first NFL start in his rookie career. Now, I know you tweeted out last night a little message of LeBron, where are you at? If you had a choice to either curb stomp LeBron or Johnny Manziel in a WWE ring, who would it be and why?
Oh, Johnny Football, no doubt. No doubt. LeBron's LeBron. The tweet last night was just poking a little fun at him. I know he's a wrestling fan. I've seen him tote around those championship belts from time to time. So LeBron's a cool cat. He's fine by me. Johnny Football, I'm not so sure about this kid yet. He's certainly been out there with a few of his behaviors thus far in his college and pro career. So if I could get wrangle his tiny little butt and put him in a ring and curb stomp him, that would be a joy of mine.
Is there something that maybe fans don't know about you? I mean, I know you're big into CrossFit and whatnot, and your music taste, but is there something that maybe fans don't know about you personally that hasn't been out there yet?
Shoot, man, if it's not out there, there's probably a reason for that. So I can't think of anything. My life's kind of an open book, to be honest with you. With social media these days and all the crap you can find on the internet, it's really hard to have a piece of you that's hidden. And if it is hidden, I probably hid it for a reason. So, like I said, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm sure there's something. We'd have to dig pretty deep, but I have no idea what it is.
When it's all said and done, and your wrestling career is over, what would you want fans and people, your legacy, to be when it comes to you in the ring and outside the ring?
I think I would just like people to, I don't know, maybe to think that, wrestling is better off for having me. The wrestling was better because I was in it. So if I can kind of leave that legacy, if the place is better than when I found it, I think that that's really all I can ask for. It'd be nice to, get all those achievements and, Hall of Fame and WrestleManias and championships and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I just want to be able to contribute to the business I grew up loving and still love now. And if I can do that and people can say that I helped move the business forward and not hold it back, then I think that's about the biggest compliment we can get.
Seth Rollins, always a pleasure talking with you. I talked to you last year when you were here for the show after the pay-per-view Royal Rumble here in Cleveland. It's always a pleasure talking with you. Always a pleasure watching you in the ring, and hopefully you have a great career in the WWE, and looking forward to watching you on Sunday.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.